The Palm Springs Aerial Tramway will reopen Thursday after temporarily closing during the stay-at-home order that took effect in December. And safety precautions will remain in place. I spoke today with its Vice President of Marketing and Public Affairs, Greg Purdy, about the changes visitors can expect. Greg, thanks so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
A lot of people have been waiting for this news. Tell us about the tram reopening and why now?
Well, it's been 68 days, and with the governor's orders lifted and the numbers seem to be improving, our general manager, Nancy Nichols, felt that we could open again at reduced capacity. You know, our number one concern is always our guest and employee safety. So, in fact, I just got off an hour and a half meeting with our staff on the different protocols that we had actually when we reopened in October, but just strengthening them then now and reminding everybody. And tomorrow we have staff training when they come back, so we'll be happy to welcome the few folks that are able to come up and see us now.
So what will be different when people finally get back on the tram this time?
We have the safety protocols that were in place before, but I think there's just even an enhanced awareness and the distancing, of course, the temperature checks, which we had in December as well. The physical separations between people with the plexiglass screens, both in the Valley Station and the Mountain Station, as well as on the tram cars. When you get on a tram car, as you saw before, they're electrostatic disinfected between each trip. They're wiped down with a medical grade disinfectant. All the handrails are wrapped with a antimicrobial tape. The windows are open. The tram car operators in a plexiglass space. So it's everything we had before, and then just an added awareness. And people were actually good. Like I said, we just spent an hour and a half chatting with our supervisor and executive staff, and people were good before. People understand in order for attractions and restaurants and buses and planes to operate, they need to follow the protocols that are prescribed by the CDC and the County of Riverside and the State Department of Health. So we've certainly taken all those directives and all those guidelines and implemented every one possible here at the tram.
I was just about to ask, I'm curious, will the wait to get on the tram be a little longer than it was before? Do you have any advice for people who book their tickets in advance?
Well, just like in October, it was only advance ticket purchase. We asked people to arrive no more than an hour before their scheduled time. And so that there is very little wait. When you book online, mind you, we've gone from 60,000 a month to 5,000 a month, maximum with our reopening capacity. So there's a maximum of 16 on a tram car, which is less than 25% of our normal capacity. So there were no waits for those 2 months when we were open, and there should be no change. We are keeping crowds from congregating here.
Will the restaurant on top of the mountain be open?
It looks beautiful. It's been completely remodeled, both of them. And no, the indoor dining, of course, is closed. However, Pines Cafe, which has a beautiful new cafeteria installation that they've just finished in the last few weeks, actually, you can take your food outside. And because outdoor dining has been restored in the state of California, we have tables set up outside, and but the indoor dining and our fine dining room are not yet open.
So outdoor dining, yes. Indoor dining, no, of course. Right. How are things overall financially right now with the tram? I know a lot of organizations and restaurants and nonprofits have suffered during this pandemic. What's happening with the tram?
Well, we had a substantial reserve, but mind you, we've also been almost 80 weeks of remodeling up at the top of the mountains. So fortunately, through careful financial management by our general manager and our vice president of finance, as well as our board, we've didn't actually reissue bonds, but we did get some additional financing. And, we're just very careful. If it's not a necessary expense, we're not spending it now, but we're certainly solvent.
Yeah, and you mentioned you've taken advantage of this time to do a lot of remodeling.
Yes, it actually started before COVID, but they were able to go a little bit faster with some of the projects. And, we've always attempted to minimize the disruption to the guest experience through the remodeling. But this allowed us to kind of swing the sledgehammer a little freer during our shutdown times.
All
And it
right.
does look beautiful. My goodness, for years we've been planning this. Our board authorized the financing for the expenditures several years ago, and people will be quite pleased with. And now we won't be done with it until July, but people will be quite surprised at our mountain station redo.
Look forward to seeing it. All right, Greg, we appreciate your time. Thanks so much for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me.